I've got a video for you today, and this one is just all about a perspective change. Something that I noticed, or something that actually was reoccurring in my life that I thought I should share with you guys that would definitely help you. This perspective change, you've probably heard of it actually in a couple different ways. One of the ways you might have heard it is, being optimistic, thinking of life, thinking of the cup as half full, not half empty. Having a survivor versus a victim mentality, and the third one being everything happens for a reason. I myself had definitely heard all these things. When I heard them, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, sure. But when I had actually started going through some of these things, I was like, wow, and I really understood the meaning. So I'm sure you've heard those things before, but you might not actually understand it or been through it. But I'm going to share with you guys some examples that might hopefully make you realize the importance of having these mentalities. So, number one, I used to be very addicted to nicotine. It's been about 6 months now that I've had nicotine. And, also, before I get into this, I hope you guys don't take this video as me bragging or virtue signaling or thinking I'm better than you. Sometimes I worry that when I tell people this stuff, they think I'm just like trying to act cooler or better than people. I'm not. I'm just trying to share with you guys things that I've been through, and hopefully it will help you. Back to the story. I was addicted to nicotine, 6 months clean now, but during the summer, this past summer, I got a tick. And a tip for you on ticks is always make sure you're wearing long sleeves, long pants. Check yourself because you can and will get Lyme disease. I did. And what happened was it sucks, and it left me out of work for a couple days. Luckily enough, I was able to jump on it soon enough. Sometimes you don't have symptoms, and it can really, really, really mess you up. I was fortunate enough that I found it. But here's the point of the story. I could have said, why did this happen to me? Why wasn't I able to work? This sucks. Life isn't fair. Blah, 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 blah. And that is the victim mentality. Instead, I tried to, and I feel like I didn't even realize what I was doing until I had done it. But what happened was when I was out a couple of days, the first 2, 3, maybe 4 days, I felt so sick, and I didn't want to, I vaped. I didn't want to vape at all. And then after like 2 or 3 days, I realized, whoa, I haven't hit my vape in 2 or 3 days. And mind you, I had tried to quit before. The longest I think I had gone was maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3, but I think I had possibly hit it. I don't know, maybe 3 the most. And so I realized, man, 2 or 3 days have gone by, and it was a breeze. I didn't even think about it once. So I took that, and I took this event and turned it into a positive, a negative into a positive. So I just ran with it. I was like, well, that was 3 days I pretty much got off scot-free. It was like, did not have any cravings. So I just kept rolling with it. And then I am where I am today. Obviously, it wasn't easy the whole time. After 3 days, I started really craving it. But I just realized I knew I wanted to quit eventually in the future. And I wasn't going to set a specific date. And I got 3 days free where I didn't crave it. And I was like, when am I going to get another opportunity like this? So I turned that negative into a positive. Now, the other negative that was turned into a positive, I suppose, was after I'd quit nicotine. There's a couple months where it really sucked, I won't lie. But after I had quit, this sounds weird, but I felt like I had something missing, which is really weird to say out loud. But I mean, when you think about it, it was something that I did a lot. I did it a lot. And once I didn't do it anymore, it was like I just kind of felt like a little part of me was just not there. So shortly after, it was actually I started this YouTube channel. And it obviously didn't fill that void completely. When I was stressed, I would hit nicotine after I ate, after I had like a coffee, anytime I was doing computer work. And you get like little habits that you form, little times that you get used to having it. So I didn't always pull out the camera and take a video, while I was on the computer or after I ate, but it did fill that void a little bit, and I kind of used it as a way to. I was like, well, something feels missing. I need to bring something into my life, and I brought something positive in, which was a YouTube channel. And so that's example number one. The second example was I was fishing with my girlfriend. We were fishing in this little swimming hole, and there was a log in the swimming hole, and she cast in. She gets the line hooked on the log. I have to go in and get it. So I go in to get it, unhook it from the log. Cool. As I get out, I realize my phone is in my pocket. Didn't think it was a big deal. Why, I did. I wiped it off, but everything was cool. Went back to the house, put it in some rice. And another tip for you guys. Do not try and turn your phone on if you get it wet. Put it in rice, leave it there for 24 or 48 hours. Google it for more information. But I tried starting it, and that apparently was what fried it. So don't do that. Anyways, when I eventually got my new phone, I thought I could hopefully get the memory out of my old phone. I hadn't downloaded everything to the cloud, so I lost all my messages, photos, notes, which really sucked. But it was like a fresh start, and that's what I did. Instead of thinking to myself, oh my God, my phone got fried, I lost everything. I had a lot of notes in there, a lot of books that I wanted to read. I wrote down a lot of, I had another YouTube channel where I had a lot of like funny skit ideas. You could go on there and just scroll. I had hundreds of ideas. Lost all of that, messages, photos. I'm still upset about the photos because those are timeless. But instead of thinking about how much that sucked, I turned a negative into a positive. And I thought to myself, what is this? Because this was actually pretty recent after the whole Lyme disease thing and quitting nicotine. And I realized to myself, what is this trying to teach me? Because I had finally reflected on the past event and said, wow, I used that negative into a positive. And then I started looking for things that I could flip from negatives into positives. And I said, what can this teach me? And I said, you know what? I use Snapchat a lot. I use Instagram a lot. I use TikTok a lot. And it's not really good. I use social media too much. You know what? I think it takes up a lot of my time that is completely unnecessary. I think sometimes it has a negative effect. Like Instagram, everybody's posting things that they are proud of, and everyone seems happy all the time. And it's not a good reflection of reality. It made me kind of wonder, why is everyone else happy and I'm not happy all the time? It just wasn't a good reflection of reality, and I think it overall was more negative than anything. So when I got my new phone, I used it as a fresh start. I said, you know what? This is a perfect way to completely redo it. My phone was also very cluttered, and I think that kind of brought a little bit of stress. Maybe not severe, but did bring a little bit of stress. So I started clean. I only downloaded the essential apps that I needed. I did download Facebook because it is such a great advertising tool, and I use it for my business. Even that kind of sucks now. I still find myself going on it all the time. But I did not download Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok. And I kept my apps to a minimum. It was just a fresh start. And it saved me a lot of time. And I actually felt better about not having those things. And I was surprised at how I actually didn't really miss it. And I found myself being in the moment more. So yeah, those are just a couple of experiences that I've had. Another one that relates more to this channel is I did a big leaf cleanup job, and it was towards the end of the year, and I didn't have any other jobs going on, and the guy offered me a lower price than I had originally offered. I took it because I wanted a job for job's sake, just to make money. I ended up making way too low of an amount for way too much work, and I was like banging my head, but then I was like, what did this teach me? And I realized, who knows? I thought to myself that, I bet you in the future, as I grow, maybe the next couple of years, I might start having, payroll with multiple employees, and I might have the opportunity at bidding on a big contract, right? And the person might offer me a lower amount, or might say, hey, these guys offered this. If you give me this, I'll give you the contract. And I might be a big number, and I might see that and go, well, that's not what I think the job's worth, but that's so much money. And I might take it, and then being on a larger scale, not being able to pay payroll. I might have to start selling equipment in order to cover that, or I don't know. I'm going into hypothetical, obviously, but I think that's what this job taught me. Was it saved me this mistake on a smaller scale. It was a big enough of a job where it got through my thick skull, but it was also not so big of a job that it completely ruined me financially or, killed all my motivation to keep going into business. And I think it saved me from later down the line learning that lesson on a way bigger scale. So yeah, I'll end the video here. Those are just a couple of examples on why the victim versus survivor mentality, everything happens for a reason, and why you should turn negatives into a positive or just be optimistic in general. Why those things are actually important. I'm sure you've heard those 3 things and probably said, yeah, okay, cool. But hopefully those experiences of my own kind of help you realize, like, man, wow, or maybe make you think of things a little bit differently. Or you might be like me and you might have to actually go through something like that in order to be like, wow. But that has helped me tremendously, and I can still, to this day, try and, when anything bad happens, tell myself, why did this happen, and how can I turn this into a good thing? And actually, one more thing, I just read a book, and they talk about turning negatives into positives, and how customers that had bad experiences that were then turned into good experiences, like they had a bad experience and then they called somebody about it and the person came and fixed it right away. Those people actually leave better reviews than people that just had an overall good experience. Not saying you should purposely do bad for your customers so that way you can fix it, but just saying turning a negative into a positive can have a even larger impact than just a positive. I won't go any deeper. That's it. Leave a comment with a similar experience if you've had one. Like the video, that always really helps me. And subscribe if you haven't already. You can watch my videos following my journey to financial freedom. And also watch some videos on my other tips and perspectives and just things that I've learned. This whole channel really is just about me learning and growing and sharing my experience with you guys. So thank you, and yeah, that's it.